Salute everyone. Peace, greetings to those who may be fasting during this month of Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak to you. I'm fasting as well, doing a lot of reading as we are required and reflecting. So I just wanted to say a few things on this Sunday. I have a mathematical question first to those of us. I'm sure all of us, we know basic mathematics. And most of us probably understand a little about sports. This is serious. The question is, can you win when you're always playing defense? Especially if the other team already begins the game or has points, and you enter the game while the other team has points, but you elect to play defense. There's absolutely no possibility of winning when you're on the defensive side. And our struggle, freedom, justice, equality here in America, it seems like everything we do as activists, conscious people, whatever you want to call us, it's a defensive response. We're never taking offense. We're never making an offensive move, trying to score a point. We do things in reaction, in response to what our oppressor does. How can we win when we're just playing defense? Whatever move we make, it's a response, it's a defense. Even if the defense looks good, looks tough, it's still a response, it's a defensive action. There's nothing in offense. So of course, we're never going to win. Score not a single point because we're in defense. Well, I'm trying to appeal, especially us who are conscious. And some of us who are conscious are active with that consciousness, so we get out and do activist things. But most of those activist things, if not all of them, are in defense, reactionary things. So how are we going to end what we are reacting to or taking action against or expressing disconsent to if we only defend or respond? We never put forth an offensive action. What's an offensive action? Actually, at the turn of last century, 1918, the president of this country, the United States, Woodrow Wilson, he went around the world promoting or advocating self-determination. His words in 1918 were that a people may only be dominated and governed by their own consent. He said self-determination is not a mere slogan, but an imperative principle of action. His Secretary of State followed that saying, wait a minute. That word self-determination is loaded, it's dynamite. He said it's going to cause some trouble. What misery it would bring. And indeed, the Secretary of State was right. Because following those same words, colonized people all over the earth, Asia, South America, Africa, they rose up saying, look, we have a right of self-determination. We are only governed by our consent. We don't consent to oppressors over us. And Wilson, they had to respect that right or fight against it. The first defeat of America, of the United States, came at the hands of Vietnam, led by Ho Chi Minh. He was inspired by the same words about self-determination, that, hey, if we don't like the way an oppressive people who are not our people are governing us, we have a right to stand up and govern ourselves. And if opposed to that, we will have to fight. Ho Chi Minh's famous words were, I don't care how superpower America is, we are willing to give 10 men for every one man that you give. And it gave America its first defeat. But like Ho Chi Minh, the Vietnamese, all the countries in Asia, all the countries in South America, Europe, they stood upon one thing that would guarantee them justice that they were seeking. And that's to give it to themselves by asserting their right of self-determination, saying, look, we have the right to govern ourselves, so we're going to stand up for that. If you oppose it, then we fight. They took an offensive action. They didn't say, oh, y'all oppressing us, let's march. Y'all oppressing us, let's rally. Y'all oppressing, let's formate, let's march and scream, black power, all power to the people. Let's dress like soldiers. That's myself in an FOI uniform and call the white man the devil, but never seek to throw the devil off from up over us and assert our own government over ourselves. Never make an offensive move. So how do we expect to ever win? As I quoted the president, self-determination, nationhood, nation time, all of these things, these are imperative principles of action. They require imperative action, not mere slogans. And imperative action goes beyond the actions that we are taking, brothers and sisters, comrades. We have to do something different. Otherwise, lawfully, we have nothing to fall back upon when we blame them for doing wrong. As I'm reading now, because it's Ramadan, we have to read the Quran. It says, at the end of the affair, or at the end of the rulership of these evil people, the devil will say, I had no power besides what you gave me. At the end of the day, brothers and sisters, because the number one principle in law is if any group of oppressed people feel that they do not like the way they are being treated, they can always stand up and say, look, we assert or invoke our right of self-determination and we choose independent governance of ourselves. Where are we at? Not talking about going somewhere. Where we are. If you are a majority on the territory and the majority consents, then they have no power over us or authority over us. That's the law. But when have we enacted such? When are we going to enact such? When there's things right now going on, besides what's been going on, that's threatening our existence. There's a virus out there created by somebody. There's forced vaccinations going on. Yes, forced. Read the news, find out what's going on now. Schools are mandating vaccinations. Jobs are starting to mandate vaccinations. No, they're not lining you up saying, here, take this shot. But if you want to eat, you got to take that vaccination. If your children want to go to school for a future, they have to take that vaccination. And all we can do is kick knowledge about it. It's time to take an action, be proactive, take an offensive action. What's the offensive action? What's the offensive action that everybody has taken? Invoke their right of self-determination. We stand up right here and we're going to take over where we at. You can't come in here and vaccinate nobody. You can't come in here and shoot down any of us. Because we control this. That's an offensive action. That's why they fear unity. See, they fear unity because you may come together in offense. Not to come together as a million or 50 million strong and just throw up your hands to try to stop from getting hit. You might hit. And the biggest way of hitting back, not hit them physically, just stand up and say, look, we will draw our power from you, or the authority that we gave you on this territory, wherever we're at. Of course, we're calling on the people, look, let's pick a territory. We're saying Detroit, July the 4th. Let's live out what July the 4th means. And stand up and say, look, on this territory, we invoke our right of self-determination. We're going to independently control this ourselves from here. That's offense. Who's willing to make an offensive action? Who out there is willing to make an offensive action? Or you want to forever be on the defense? The only reason that you will decline what I'm saying is fear. Because if the number one thing in law says this is what you do, this is your first option. Read the law. Read the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ratified by this country, meaning it's the top law in this land. The first thing it says is all peoples have a right of self-determination. Many of our states' first article, first thing in our state constitution says all political power is inherent in the people, and they have the right at all times to alter or abolish the government whenever the public good deems it necessary. Power is always in our hands. We don't exercise. Of course, white folks, they'll get up and exercise it in a minute. They'll run up in the state capitol building. They'll run up in the nation's capitol building. Offensive action, and we laugh at and pick at that, while we remain in the defense. Brothers and sisters, death is upon our door right now. It's been upon our door, but we're letting them pick us off one by one. As I saw in a movie, a brother shared a clip from a movie with me where the Jewish or the Nazi German war, all of that was over with. It was years later. But an old, retired Nazi military man was talking to a young Jewish boy. He said, your people deserve the death that they got. He said he was at a camp, and over 1,000 Jews allowed 4 German soldiers to march them into a death chamber. No one resisted. They were scared to put their lousy lives on the line. That's what he said. Just 5, 10, jump on them. Even if you get shot down, you're going to eventually win. Make an offensive action. Take an offensive action. That's what we're saying, brothers and sisters. Those of us who may be really about that life. I know there's many in our different groups, even if the leadership is fearful or confused and don't know what to do. A lot of times it's just the fear of the leadership. But some of you are sincere, you just don't know. Detroit, July the 4th. The formations you've been having, the marches you've been rallying together, getting together in certain cities and certain states. We invite you to Detroit for an offensive move that's designed and intended to end. A lot of these things we do, they're not even intended to do anything besides put on a show. Let's get beyond that, brothers and sisters. Our children deserve it, our future, our posterity deserves it. We deserve it ourselves. To stop playing games, to protect our life is a natural response. Let's do the right thing, brothers and sisters. Let's go back to the original intent of some of our organizations, which we've gotten away from. Let's go back into the original intent of why we joined the movement for freedom. Not for fellowship forever with fellow comrades, so we can say comrades and brother and sister for the next 50 years until our demise. We came into these movements because we thought these things were going to lead us to some justice. If they're not leading to justice, that means something is going wrong. That means our actions that are being taken are incorrect. It's mathematics. It's mathematics. So brothers and sisters, I'm not going to keep talking. Connect with us. Let's unite. Let's take a stand. Not to join the organization, but to stand up for our organizations, for what our mission statements are. Freedom, justice, equality, a nation of our own. Detroit, July the 4th is happening. Please get in touch with us. Get in touch with me, any of those who are with me, so we can coordinate this thing properly. And we'll see you there. No spectatorship. Hopefully we want everyone to participate. We're not trying to promote media attention or gain media attention. We want some action. We want some results. We want justice. Salute to everyone. Peace.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it.
Control the city. It's ours.
It's a man named Ramzu Yunus claims he's taking over the city. He's taking over the city. He's taking over the city.
And the number one thing for freedom is nationhood, self-determination, which you have a right to. You have a right to self-determination. You have a right to govern yourself. Okay. No man just comes to a population of people and says, look, I'm your governor, I'm your mayor, I'm your president. You have to vote them in. They have to get power from you.
That's right.
But if we have power to put them in, we have power to take them out.
That's right. That's right.
If we have power to vote within this system, we have power to vote ourselves out of this system. Yes. That's a human right.
And today we got a really, really hot topic for you guys. We're talking about what would reparations look like. And we have human rights activist Ramzu Yunus.
Reparations, to me, and in international law as well, reparations is the repair of a people. Our repair is beyond monetary compensation. Some people, when we say reparations, money, give us the money, show us the money. But our breaking, we've broken beyond money, we're broken away from power.